Hi, this is Max. I'm back with another CSR2 video. So today, Natural Motion in their live stream confirmed that the next Gold Cup car will be the McLaren 720S. This is one of the milestone cars that came many seasons ago. In fact, I think it was not long after the 918, although I can't be sure exactly. However, some of us had a long time with this car and have had the chance to eventually collect all of the S6. I actually managed to strip, I believe, 3 or 4 S6s out of a second 720S that I pulled during a Gold Cup quite a few seasons ago, even to now. However, I was able to finally get it maxed, and it's been sitting that way for some time, although I haven't been putting much mileage on it. For a while I was using it. I got about 600 miles on it, but it's not one of my go-to cars for trading or anything, even though it is one of the only cars I have for the 7-second lobby. That being said, this car, if it is in fact going to be used for Gold Cup, I'm going to go ahead and show you some things with relation to how the Stage 6 affects it and where you're going to be at full fusion at Stage 5. So here we have a full stage 5 setup. I'm not saying I have the best tune in the world, but I have the highest Evo tune that I can manage given what I normally do with the tweaking of the dyno. So 1719 seems to be where you're going to be. If you play with the grip, it actually gets worse as you lower the grip and increase acceleration. So a 9.427 is about where you're going to be, and this is with full fusion, mind you. So if you don't have all the epics in, you very well could hit all stage 5 parts and be in the 9.6 range. Well, we know from experience that the gold cups are usually a little bit tougher than the prestige cups. Natural Motion has been making it in a way where they require you to have almost 4, sometimes 5 stage 6 to make it if you don't have much fusion, or 4 or 3 stage 6 if you have the right ones and enough fusion. Well, which ones are the right ones for this car? Well, let's test them out. I know for a fact this car likes nitrous. And when you put stage 6 nitrous on, you notice the PP point didn't change much, but notice the immediate jump with the Evo. It doesn't tell the whole story. What happens is that even though it looks like you got a nice jump, sometimes it doesn't do much. However, in this case, if you bump the nitrous to the max where it can be and play with the trends a little bit to see if it'll go any higher. There we go, a little bit higher. And then we're gonna see if we can bump it where it can be the max possible. So I would say 1890 is close to a good top point. 8.936. We just dropped from 9.43 to 8.93. That is a pretty good drop for one S6. So there you go. That's definitely the S6 to have so far. Can any of the other ones beat it? We'll find out soon enough. My gut feeling is no, because this car really likes nitrous. And it rides it with a short duration, high power burst, even when you have a maxed tune on the car. Now, I've added the body. If you notice, the PP level and stuff looks almost the same as when you had the nitrous, but again, the Evo is a little bit lower, almost 80 points lower, maybe 70 points now, but also we need to adjust nitrous to kind of give it a little more bump. 1832. And where does that put us? 9.005, pretty close. That's easily a 4/10 drop. So body is big. Body is a good and useful stage 6. So on to the next one. We're going to go to tire. Again, when you're individually adding these, okay, it's just to give you an idea of the effects of the S6. Obviously, I'm going to show you later a combination to show you the difference as well. But individually tuned, each S6 will only give you so much effect. I've done this before with the Bentley as a example, and I also did it with the 599 GTO, although it was not ultimately used as a PC cup. It gives you also an idea. Now, each car is somewhat different, as you can see between the three videos. You can see that some cars take well to one thing more than others, but generally speaking, we know that engine, turbo, and intake tend to have the least amount of effect. This time, the tire does. Well, did I just put tire in? Yes, I did. So tire does have some effect, but not by increasing the final gear. It actually stays near the final gear where you want to be. So yeah, tire has some effect. It actually doesn't quite beat body, but it does drop it by almost 3/10. Now, that means in combination, nitrous, body, and tire should do some impressive drops in times. We'll find out later, as I'm going to first show you how trans, engine, turbo, and intake is going to work. So let's put trans in. Now, transmission is supposed to shorten the shift time, blah, 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 make the car faster, right? Well, on some cars, it seems to have pretty good effect. Let's see how it affects this car. What's interesting is we're here at 1672. We're almost 200 evo less than when we put nitrous in. And I'm not tuning yet. I'm just kind of checking where I am. That's barely better than without the trans put in. So what's going on here? Can we get this to bump up? Well, looks like the answer is yes. Question now is going to be how much? And notice the immediate difference in the way the car tunes. With nitrous, tire, and body, you're basically staying at the same final drive. But once you only use the transmission, it really needs a lot more aggressive final drive to potentially have a great time. 9.233. Is it possible I can get better? I don't think so. I think this car always likes it right at 0-100 tire. So really you're just playing with final drive at this point, and 1749 is the best I can eke out of it at the moment. Maybe I can eke out another point or two with the nitrous. So 9.2 is a 2/10 drop. Well, maybe, yeah, one Evo is not going to make much of a difference, a few hundreds. So about a 2/10 drop for the transmission. So the trans is only about half as effective as a tire at stage 6. Now, mind you, that's with the 5 fusions attached, just like with the tire. So obviously, tire seems to work better with the same amount of fusions than transmission. Same thing here. We have 5 fusions for the engine. Notice it did not change the PP much at all. 1 point is the lowest change so far. Does that mean it gives the lowest effect? I don't know yet. Let's take a look with this. It doesn't look good so far. That's not too good. But is it going to get better when we tweak the final drive? Now, with this, it seems the final drive goes back towards 2.0 again for the max Evo. Not bad. It beat trans. How about that? So, engine's slightly better than transmission. So far, that bumped trans down pretty far in the list of great S6 for this car. We're looking right now at number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. And my feeling from experience is that these two guys will end up at 6 and 7. I just haven't found them many cars to be really effective at 6 parts. So let's now fit turbo. Without tuning right now, let's get a feel for it. Yeah, it doesn't look too good, right? But we haven't tuned it yet. Let's play with this a little bit. Can we get a better point with nitrous first? I guess not. All right. Tweaking. Uh-oh, it's going down. That's bad. That's bad. Is it going to go up if I get a little more aggressive? No. Wow. That's not so good. 9.386. Remember, started at 9.43 something. That is barely 0.05 second drop. Ouch. for a full S6. Well, not too surprising. It's only got one fusion in it too, right? And that's with the fusion. Imagine without the fusion, it might just be like nothing. Alright, so this guy's on the bottom right now, unless intake somehow managed to outdo it in its miserableness. Let's try intake now. Okay, if intake can beat a 500th gain, then intake will be second to last. And it does. And that's before I tuned it. Let me see if I can tune it for a little better. Oh no, it does not. Boy, oh boy, it's bad. It's not good at all. Alright, so it still beats turbo by probably the margin of that one fusion. So there you go. Engine and, turbo and intake, not so good. Engine actually did pretty good, right? So I was surprised. I was kind of expecting transmission to beat engine. Alright, now, what does all this mean? Well, let's say we got lucky and we pull nitrous and body as the two S6s. How far is that going to get this car under 9.4? Now, mind you, this car max is 7.7. If I know natural motion based on past experience with Gold Cups, my gut feeling is the final run, the final two runs in this cup will be somewhere between 8.6 and 8.3. That's probably going to be your target time. Maybe they'll be generous and be a little nicer and put it to 8.6 as the final time. In any case, that's still hard to reach because you're talking about if you just got this car and not got it almost a year ago, then you're probably not going to have full fusions and you're going to be relying on these S6s to get you there. Well, what are these two S6 going to do without tuning? 8.547. If you tune it a little bit, you may very well beat 8.4. Knowing that is why I think the final time in the cup isn't going to be much slower than 8.4, 8.5. They'll make it too easy in some sense for the more veteran players. Obviously, if you have a fully built car, there is no such thing as too easy. You're going to beat it anyway. But if you're building a car and you only have so much fusion and stage 6, this would be a fairly challenging target. Now, that's with 2S6, right? Just with nitrous and body, you can hit 8.4. That means with tire, you could probably hit 8.2s. So what happens if you don't get these guys and you get all the rest? Let's say we got 4. Oh, I left the intake in? Okay, I'm sorry. Let me take that out and redo this real quick. We don't want to cheat the system here because we don't know how the intake in combination would have affected the car. So let's go back again and dyno one more time. 8.5. So yeah, it lost a little bit, right? It was 8.4 something, but can I tune it higher than? I think there might be some there. I may be able to eke a point out of here or two. No. What happened to my 1 point? Give me my point back. Oh, thank you. 8.523. So, alright, so can disregard the intake there. That did drop it a little bit more than what I thought. Now, in combination, the intake actually dropped it almost another tenth, which isn't bad. So now we're looking at just these two. So let's take these two off. And let's say we got intake, we got turbo, we got engine, which, mind you, was number 4 on the list, and we have trans. Wow, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Compared to 2 S6 we had before. Are we going to be able to beat that other 2 S6 only time or not? Well, let's find out. This is untuned, mind you, first of all. No, that doesn't look like a good start. So, let's put it to about 4.7, where we noticed before is a good spot for nitrous. Here's going to be the question. More final drive or less final drive? Looks like with transmission and less power adders, more final drive seems to be the ticket. 1836 might be one of the highest points we reached. Right here. All right, what did that run? 8.8. 4 S6s running 8.8, 2 S6s running 8.5. Geez, this isn't looking good if you don't have that nitrous, huh? What if you got the tire? Remember, tire was pretty good. It dropped it by at least 2/10 before. Let's put some tire on it. Now we have 5 S6. Now, I'm running full fusion. So imagine if you don't have too many epics and you have these 4 S6s, you might be looking at still a 9.0 or 8.9. So I hope Natural Motion will be generous and put the final run at 8.6 or 8.7 at least. Make it somewhat reachable for people. But let's find out what tire will do without fine-tuning. 8.6. So 8.6 seems to work. 8.577. So right there, you're looking at 5 S6. 5 S6. That barely catches the time of these two. That is going to be a problem when it comes to getting S6 building this car in the actual Gold Cup. If you're not getting the right ones, you're going to have a problem. I hope you get the nitrous, and I hope you get the body. Because without it, it looks like even if the Gold Cup is set at like 8.7, assuming you're few of these guys short, remember, if you look at these guys, those are your Evo adjustments, okay? And really, each epic is only going to give you probably 10 Evo. And you know, 10 Evo is about less than 100th, I think, maybe 100th difference. So 10 epic fusions, assuming that they tune to these kind of Evos with the proper tune, is only about less than a tenth. I mean, a few hundredths difference. So you could be short a few of these and still make it, but you really need the right S6s. So good luck in the coming Golden Cup. I won't have a problem, obviously, but if you are building this new, or if your car is missing many of the S6s, you may have a tough time, but at least you know that if you get lucky and you grab a body and a nitrous, you're in pretty good shape. So I hope this video was helpful and gave you some information towards the 720S. This is not a tune video. One max, I just run the world record tune off of Facebook and it works the best. The shifting patterns, although I think I better mention that a little bit. The shifting patterns with this car changes depending on the level of build. But in many of the level of build, it has a thing about skipping second gear. Almost, you know, you launch immediately nitrous and then you skip second and go to third. Or you launch and kind of skip the gears first and second into third. At max tune, you actually launch immediately nitrous and go right to fifth before you start running it with perfect shifts. So play with the different launch techniques as well with this car, because as you advance with it with different levels of build, you'll find that the car actually runs differently. So that concludes this video. I hope as you get to the Golden Cup, this information will be useful to you. Feel free to ask questions. If you have any comments from your own experience playing with this car, feel free to put it in the comments. It'll be good information to share to other subscribers who are looking for information on this car. And subscribe to the channel so you can get notifications from me when I put new videos up. In any case, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.